Amazing. I went against Panetta every time in this tournament, even though I saw her warming up and practicing the Friday before the main draw started, and she looked fantastic, and I said as much, but I never thought she could win in any of her matchups, though I thought it would be close. I knew she was going to be in good form. But wow, Vinci didn't quite make it all the way to the finish line. I really thought she could get to the semis, especially the way the draw worked out, but I thought that even before the tournament started. And she was close, quarterfinals. During the match, I had to replay some of it and look closer. And she's a great hider. She can have issues with her body and different things, and you can't tell until she's absolutely exhausted. She wasn't exhausted. She had plenty in the tank. I don't think that was the problem, but definitely I saw grimacing during her match. I definitely think she was stiff. There were some issues in her body, and against someone who's in such great form like Panetta, this definitely hurt. Plus with the wind, not that the wind would normally bother Vinci that much and she can get to the net, but what happened is she had to play so aggressive and keep the points short because of something with her physical, in my opinion. And it was almost kamikaze-like, like Dogopolov. She was rushing the net like crazy and almost pulled it off the first set. Panetta was caught off guard at times, but Panetta's form is so good. She calmed herself down, sat back there confidently on the baseline, and then herself, she went for big shots and winners and came to the net when the openings were there. So it wasn't like she was passive whatsoever, but she had more controlled aggression where Vinci was a little kamikaze, went down a break, got it back, tried to hang on near the end, and then got broken, and then Panetta served it out for the set. And in the second set, Vinci tried to be more patient, but it just wasn't going to work. Then you could hear her start grunting a lot. So, she was, pushing what she could do. It's 6-1. It wasn't that bad, actually. There were a lot more close games, but she tried to be somewhat, more patient. That didn't quite work. Panetta was feeling good physically, mentally. She's just in great form right now. And then so Vinci started net rushing again and being more aggressive, and it worked a little bit. And then the only reason she even got a game, to be honest, is because Panetta kind of let down a teeny bit as she just tried to roll it out, at the end. But again, it wasn't that much of a blowout. It was relatively close, but there was no way with Vinci. She wasn't physically right for this to be fit enough to beat somebody the way Panetta's playing. Suddenly, she's playing like the best tennis of her life. I think these balls. She loves these balls too. They gave her the little extra power, but they're still very controllable. So nice controlled aggression all the way around. And yeah, Panetta's in the semifinals. I love it. It's fantastic. And I'm going to go for her against her again. I'm not going to be able to pick against Azarenka, and if she plays Serena in the final, I'll have to pick against her again. So maybe she'll win the whole tournament. I'll just keep picking against her. Anyways, this was the match of the day. Gasquet, Ferrer was definitely tired and physically not fit all the way, and the summer he had is pretty much continued where he's not 100%. Gasquet, the opposite. He looked not 100% during the summer, but has really found some form, rounded into shape. Not maybe pushing himself too hard in the summer hard court season, so that he has a lot of gas left, and won a great 5-setter over Raonic. All that happened here, I don't think it was Gasquet being tired. I think it was just he won those first 2 sets so fast, and you knew Ferrer was going to come back, and Gasquet probably knew it too, but you just can't prepare yourself for a pit bull. There's no way to do that. You sit there and go, oh, nice puppy, and then boom, he bites your leg. And so Ferrer just struck back. Before you knew it, Gasquet was panicking. He went down quick in the 4th set. But to his credit, because he easily could have mentally crumbled, and probably would have in the past, he hung on tight. Yes, Ferrer wasn't all the way 100% fit, but great stuff by Gasquet to hang on. He almost got broken at times. He almost broke at times, and finally he got the breakthrough, held on. Just fantastic. Everybody was so happy for him, myself included. It's been a long road for him. The one-time great junior tennis player, and so good stuff there. Ferrer's going to he'll take some rest and he'll be back. Azarenka, Hantuchova. Hantuchova beat Glushko, Risk, and Duval. This was a different level, and I'm not taking away from what Hantuchova did because those girls were all playing great. But you add in there was a lot of wind as well that affected the match. Plus the nerves of being all of a sudden on Arthur Ashe and the level of competition. It wasn't Azarenka's best, but you put all that together, it was tough for Hantuchova. She tried to be aggressive, but she couldn't get the rhythm going. The wind wasn't helping out either. She was missing a lot. The second set, she actually. And by the way, a lot of these games were close, so this wasn't much of a. Looks like a blowout, but it wasn't. She showed more patience off the ground the second set and took something off her first serve to get it in more. But then, they had longer rallies. But she did break Azarenka and went up a break, but then Azarenka broke back. Nothing was working because that's Azarenka's game, being more patient. So then Hantuchova tried to be more aggressive again. That backfired again because of the wind and just the fact that Azarenka just can really run down balls and is playing, is good. It's better at probably these conditions at the moment. And but Hantuchova gave it her best. She did throw down 2 double faults in a row to go down the break late in the second set. And again, just Azarenka as a returner plus the wind, it was just all too much for Hantuchova. And finally, this looks like a complete joke. Honestly, Robredo started off flat. He came out flat. Nadal jumped all over him. Nadal's in great form right now. The cold weather, I felt, would keep the ball a little lower, and it did, and I thought that could hurt Nadal. But, the problem was then he could do more rallies, and Robredo couldn't hit through the slow conditions. It was even slower than when he played Federer. Plus, I think Arthur Ashe, he said the surface plays a little different. It's hard to tell all that when the air is so different that night, compared to the match against Federer. It wasn't fast against Federer, but I think it was really slow, and it's going to be slow again tonight. For Djokovic and Yuzny. It might even be slower. It's getting cold now a little bit. So we've had everything: hot, humidity, dry, cold. Now we're in the cold part. But the ball didn't jump up a lot, but it was just too slow. Robredo couldn't get through the court, especially when he was flat. And then later he pumped it up, and those 6-2, 6-2 sets were closer than they look. Robredo was really fighting and having some shots. But again, he didn't have enough strength to hit through, and I don't even think he was at his. I think all the tennis has worn him down a bit, so he had a little less strength. It was a little bit like the Navarro Serena match, where Navarro is hitting the heck out of the ball right now, and so is Robredo, but they're kind of worn out. And to lose any kind of power against Nadal and Serena, well, then you're really in trouble. Then you add in the cold, slow conditions. It was crazy. So that was a no-go for Robredo. Let's see what else we have. Dottage, Melo through to the semis. Great stuff. Mirza Zhangzi. They may be tiring now, though, through to the semis. They've had a lot of especially Zhangzi with the singles as well. And Mirza has a wrap on her leg. That could be the end of the line there. Anyway, Serena Williams, Venus played a great one with Pavlyuchenkova, Safarova to get through. They're getting better and better each match. Venus looks good as well, so it's great. One little point where the ball jumped off Serena's foot on a slam, and Venus caught it in midair. Just a great snag. I tell you, Venus has got the most talent athletically, but of all time, I think, on women's tennis. It's just things didn't quite work out all the way. So anyways, we see some others, Levakova and Radeka, some other people getting into the semis. And Kokkinakis won his singles, his boys' juniors, and a lot of other juniors went on, so it's a big day of tennis today. Quincy also won, the Wimbledon champ. That's a wrap.